All right, in this video, we're going to kind of blitz through setting up WebPush with Noticed. This is a PR that I've got set up that kind of working through, but this kind of shows how you can get it going. So we're just going to do Rails new, and once this is done, we're going to CD into it. For for push notifications to work, we have to have HTTPS set up. So that is going to set up the certificates that I just did there. We are going to get into our gem file, and in here I'm using clearance for the user accounts, and I'm also using my repo with the WebPush stuff set up in it. All right, so we're going to bundle. Set up the database and set up clearance. We are going to add the sign-in links, etc. to clearance. The next thing we want to be doing is in our proc file, we're not going to be using the normal web server. We're going to be using HTTPS, and that's going to be using those certificates that are already set up. And then we're going to set up Noticed. So that will generate that model for it, and we're going to want to add the association to our users. So that's set up. For this, we're going to be posting from just a post controller or a post model, such as a title and content, just to kind of give something to work with. And with that, we're going to make that the route. All right. Next, we're going to make that a new post notification. So this is actually what's going to trigger the notifications. So in here, we're going to be sticking this into the database. We will be using WebPush. We're going to need the params, and we're going to want to have access to the URL. Additionally, for WebPush, we're looking for the data. I'm expecting we're going to probably change this to something that's more specific. But anyways, that gives us that. And let's save that file, because the last time I ran through this, I didn't save it. And it doesn't work if you don't save it, it turns out. All right, so what's going to happen is when you create a new post, after it saves, we're going to create that notification, and we're going to send it to all users. All right, so that's good. So the next step, and this is kind of one of the magic sauces. This is a generator for WebPush. This is going to set up the stuff we need. And give us a few things to follow up with. So for push notifications, we have to trigger that from a user action. So we're going to add a button here that the user can click. It's displayed, it's hidden by default, but it's going to be shown if it's appropriate. We also need to add the credentials for the service. Credentials, edit. So this has what's called a vapid key. So this is a public-private key for everything to make things work properly. Sorry for the notifications that are coming. I'm testing notifications, so it means it's going to be on the video. But that's going to set up that those credentials. All right, let's do a Rails DB migrate to get everything to get everything set up, and then we're going to want to Rails C and create that user account. And we can now start this dev server. So if I've done everything right, I should be able to reload, accept the risk of running my own server. So the Noticed notifications are, with the way they're set up by default, they're going to be going to users. So I do have to sign in for this to all work. And so I'm going to enable notifications. Yep, that goes away and is hidden. So this takes care of keeping off if it's already been granted access. So I'm going to do a new post and do test post, and voila, we have our post. If I click on it, it opens up a new tab, and we've got access. We go straight to that test post. So that's what's involved with adding the gem, generating it, putting the credentials in the right place, and putting a button to trigger things. Just to show what's going on from the JavaScript side, we do have our application.js that's just loading this. So we are watching the button. And if we've already been given access, we make sure we forward that subscription to the server. If it's denied, we do nothing. And if it's kind of the default, you're going to prompt for the notifications permissions. So in here, we're going to basically wait for the click. If they click and they accept it, we're going to set up the notification, or we're going to yell at the user, as one does. And our setup subscription is going to basically set up the service worker and get all that set up. And on the save subscription, this is going to push it to the subscriptions controller to save stuff. This also spits out into the public folder a service worker.js. This is looking for the push. When it pushes it, it's going to pop up the notification. If you click on the notification, this is where it's opening that window. And if anything changes about your subscription, this is what's going to push that back up to the server to keep that up to date on the server side. And on the server side, it's doing the stuff for checking for unauthorized or expired subscriptions to make sure they don't blow up in your face. But that's kind of the gist of everything.